Hello, guys. I just felt like this was the appropriate video to start off. I think I'm gonna tell it I'm an alcoholic, and that's okay because I recently got an iPad because I thought I was gonna be doing this an internship, but that didn't work out for obvious reasons. Okay, so it's hard to start from the beginning, and if you'd like to know more, then I would, continue on making videos, but at this point, I just feel like no one understands me. Uh, I feel like I was excused as an alcoholic because I'm on the college campus, and people are so quick to say, "You're not an alcoholic until you get off campus." But I just graduated, and what does that make me? I'm not afraid to drink alone. I'm not afraid to do whatever. Like, as long as I get a drink in me, I don't care if it's 1 p.m., 1 a.m., it's okay to admit. And especially, like, with nowadays, people are so pro weed or pro whatever, but they're so quick to talk down on another addiction. But I feel like, in general, any addiction is bad. Any dependency is bad. Any codependency is bad. And it's something that should not be idolized. Like, as an alcoholic, I feel like alcoholism should be idolized. Like, I make a lot of jokes about it, but it's not to make a joke out of. But you can say the same thing about weed. But but people who's on weed, they say, "Oh, like, oh, it's weed, it's natural, blah blah blah." You get that late shit, and then it's something different, and then your friends who are so dependent on it, they say, "I need to smoke weed to wake up. I need to smoke weed to go to bed. I need to smoke weed to do this, to do that, to do that." And you don't for half a second think that maybe this could be an addiction. So people shouldn't be so quick to judge. And I don't judge anybody from, if it's crack, maybe. Maybe I may give them the look, but never would I ever, like, give them a side eye about it. Because that's just what you decide to do. I don't know what you're going through. And, it is what it is. But the reason why I decided to make this video, it really sparked my interest, is because I always did want to make a YouTube channel, like, besides of that. But, like, tonight I just discovered my point, as why I turned to drinking. And as a college student these past few years, I realized that I did, like, turn to alcohol, especially, like, with the easy access to it. As a college student from, the University of Illinois, Urbana-Champaign, you may see, like, a lot of, like, reviews of us being the top drinking school. And that's because alcohol is, like, it's accessible in a sense. But, who gives a fuck about the influences? Because if that was the case, I would have been on weed like everyone else, but I'm not. But it was just something about alcohol that really eased the pain, and that really, like, drew me to it. So I'm just here to, admit that shit and, like, set the record straight. But like I said, this is about my story. But ever since, I would say, my sophomore year of high school, I've been dealing with my older brother. Yeah, I had a lot of mental issues, and he wasn't exactly diagnosed yet, but he would be really paranoid. Uh, it was just really triggering for me because we're 2 years apart. He's the first oldest, I'm the second oldest, and there's three under us. Like, we grew up really close, and then all of a sudden, to see his mental state just, like, go away like that, it completely changed me. In high school, he did wrestling and things like that, and then all of a sudden, like I said, like, I just saw, like, he dropped out of high school, and, like, his mental state just went, like, out of the door. And, like, growing up in the, not to say all black families are like this, but my family was like this, and they were not so quick to believe in mental health. So they were so quick to believe in, things that were church related. So when he would act out, it would be, oh, this is Jesus, or like, oh, this is the devil. This is the devil. Like, he needs Jesus. He needs Jesus. And the whole time, in the back of my head, I'm like, this is something else. Like, and then my AP Psych type of mind, all the bitches that took AP Psych, they think they know how to diagnose every person in the book, but that's not the case. Clearly, me, because I don't know football psychology, but they didn't know that they diagnose everybody. So clearly, that's not the case. So I figured like it was something going on with him. And then I remember this one specific moment, my junior year, he was dropped out already. And he came down and he was just talking about, he's like, you guys are talking about me. Like, you guys are trying to get me to do this. And I don't want to do it. You guys are trying to, and he was flicking the lighter. I remember this metal lighter. He said, you guys are trying to get me to come down, and I don't want to come down. And that's when I said, I was like, speaking on my head, I'm like, yo, like, you're hearing things in your head, like, what are you talking about? Like, you're literally, like, nobody's saying anything about you. And, like, whole time I was just thinking, like, this is just classic brother-sister bickering. But no, it was actually something wrong with him. And I actually sensed it there as a 17-year-old. I sensed something going on there. And everyone's just like, no, whatever. He went back upstairs. And then the next defining moment I would have to say would be the junior year. It was like, not junior, senior. Finals time, and then he had bursted into the room, and he was throwing shit around, like he came in. It was like 3 a.m. Came in throwing shit around, and it's like yelling at us, and we were scared. So we went to our grandmother's room. Keep in mind, it was my sister and also my brother and me. We were all staying in the room. He came in there like throwing shit around and stuff like that. So we went there like, what's going on? I called my dad, and that's when he was like restrained. He was held down, and then that's when I was forced. I called 911. And he was taken away on the ambulance that day, and that was very rough for me. He was taken away, and I'm like, okay, like, I'm like, I still gotta get through finals. It's my senior year. It's 2018. I gotta get through finals. So he gets taken away, and he gets back, like I say, like a week later. I don't know what they did, but like I guess he somewhat got kind of better because he was kind of responding to us. Like I don't know what exactly changed, but he did get some type of diagnosis, and I think that was I think this is some type of like psychosis or something like that. Like, it was not a clear diagnosis, but at the end of the day, like, he's an adult and he can't like check himself out, so it's hard to like actually like get the exact help that he needs. Like, 2 years ahead of me. Keep in mind, I was 18 at the time as a senior in high school, and 20, so he could check himself out. So we did that, whatever, and like it's like I graduated high school, the first out of my 4 siblings, so that was a really exciting moment. I applied to a couple schools, and I decided to go to the U of I, University of Illinois. So I decided to go there, and then I remember it's just crazy thinking about it right now, but like that day, like my dad rented out a van for moving day. He rented out a van, and we all decided to go down there. So we all took that van. Oh, this tear. Oh, this is some good ass quality. You can see my tear. So we all went down there to Champaign, Urbana. It was Urbana. And yeah, so we moved in, and my brother that I said was sick, that went to the hospital. He went there. He helped me move in, I remember. My younger brother, my sister, that's 2 years younger, and then my youngest sister, she's 10 years behind me. 10 years behind me. I was born in 2000. She's born in 2010. We all went down there to move in, and everybody was there. And then I remember at the end, we took a group picture. And little did I know, that would be the last group picture that all the siblings took together. So that was, I didn't even realize at the time, but that's what it was. So we took that picture, whatever we went on. And I just remember being here in college, whatever, getting adjusted. It was hard getting adjusted to life, being alone, whatever. I'm so used to being like surrounded by like siblings and shit like that. So yeah, although like I did see the siblings, it's like very, very fucking annoying. Very annoying, but like we got used to each other because like you gotta grow up the way you gotta grow up. So whatever, but over time, like when I'll be like saying like, okay, I have to call my dad this week, I have to call my girlfriend this week, I have to call everybody this week, I sort of like broke off from that schedule. And it got to the point like I'm okay. I'm still with college life. Like I don't want to go back home because I realized that back home brought a lot of negative memories for me, and it just did, because every time when I would think of back home, I would think of my brother, and we like it was just hard to not think about it. It was because you could think about all the positive. You think of, oh, my dad's there, my grandma's there, but you wouldn't think of your suffering brother, and that's the burden that I always held on me, like since junior year and beyond. Like that's that burden that I always held on me, and when I got the opportunity to live on my own, well, not exactly on my own, but like away from my family, 2 hours away, where they didn't have easy accessibility to me, where I didn't have to see my brother, I'm like, hell yeah, let me avoid that. And like, I just took that avoidance to a different level. So I called my family less. I did whatever, and then I just like lived my college life, and I just lived it independently as I possibly could until I needed to go back home. And then freshman year, I needed to go back home, like, because I lived in dorms and shit. So they had to kick us out after a certain point. So, of course, I went back home for Thanksgiving break after time. Dealt with that. I went for Christmas break, which was a month. I dealt with that, and then I feel like sophomore year, that was like the COVID year, so like it was a little weird, but like I was just able to stay in my apartment and not deal with any of the consequences. Like I got to stay as long as I wanted, and there was no deadline that I had to get out, so I appreciated it so much. So that's why I just took advantage, and I left as late as I can, as early as I can. I just left as early as I can, left as late as I can, and I just stood away, and I was like subconsciously just doing that because I just did not want to see my brother in that state, and that was the main thing that was triggering me. Because I mean, like I said, like I didn't talk about it like earlier in the time, but like I'm saying, like I said, 2 years less than 2 years apart. Like just say Arnold, we both Leos. Like I'm July 28th, 2000. He's August 14th, 1998. That's literally less than 2 years. We're both Leos, whatever. So like we kept it tight. Like before my sister was born in 03, like it was just us. And like Even when after she was born, it'll be just us. Like we were just like so close, and just to lose a bond like that, like it's crazy as hell. It was just a lot for me, and I was never allowed to like truly process it, cause I just felt like everyone else was going through it. Like you feel like not you. Why am I saying you? The dad, my father, he's losing a son in some way. My mother also losing a son. My other three siblings, they're also losing a brother. So I didn't want to like project my feelings onto that. So I'm trying to make this video under 20 minutes. So let's get to it. So I did not want to project any of my feelings. I did not want to. Junior year, I continue on with the same shit. Like I continue on with the like not like the keeping in contact, not keeping in contact, because it was like ignoring my home life and like continuing my college life, because college life is completely different from back at home life. It just is completely, like, especially if you're not completely close to your family, like it's just a different vibe. So here I like to say it was a fantasy land. It was a fantasy land in a sense that I was able to just to ignore all the problems I had back at home. So even though everything wasn't perfect here, I was just able to like pretend like that shit did not exist. Whether it was like disguising it with alcohol or whatever. And I would say like starting sophomore year, no, even freshman year I could date back. Like, although I did not have as easy access to alcohol, it did go to alcohol. Cause like I was able to get, alcohol from a upperclassman. She gave me my first bottle of raspberry Smirnoff. Shit was disgusting. Tastes like cough medicine. Good thing I like cough medicine. I don't do weed, but that's besides the point. But like when I was able to get easy access to alcohol, that's what I turned to. I was just drinking and drinking and drinking and drinking, and then it just got to a crazy point. It got to a crazy point, like, and then I realized what I was drinking out. I did not want to call back home. I didn't want to call my dad. I didn't want to call my grandma. I didn't want to call my mom. I didn't want to call anybody. Like I did not want to call any of that. So like I realized when I was drinking, I was just drinking away the pain, drinking away the pain, and that's obviously not healthy, as I see now. It's really not. So let's just fast forward. Junior year, sophomore year, doing the same shit, but senior year is when it got to the point. I got a call. Not I got a call. I decided to call my dad, and then that's when I was told like my brother had did something to my aunt. That was really crazy. Like it was. It's too descriptive to even talk about over here. He got some like paranoia in his head, like, and then he just decided to do that to my aunt. So that had happened, and then I go back for November for Thanksgiving break, and then that's I would say I don't know. It's hard to say what the worst moment of your life is because you don't know what your life has to come, but I would say that's the worst moment of my life. So I slept on the couch that day because, of course, there's nowhere for me to sleep. My sister threw all my shit into the attic. That stupid bitch. But she threw all my shit into an attic. And I remember my mom came over because my sister was going to braid her hair. And I remember waking up and I was taking out my braids because my sister was going to braid my hair the very next day. I was taking out my hair and I hear somebody knocking on the door. And I see a police officer. And he say, "Is there a young man that lives here?" And I say, "Yeah, but he never comes out of his room." And And he's like, "Are you sure?" Like, yeah. He never comes out of his room. And then they're like, "Can you go to check?" So my grandma goes to check. And he's not in his room. There's no one there. And the window was open. There's no one there. So we're asking us what happened. What happened to the police officers? We're asking what happened. They're not telling us shit. My mom is there. Thank God she don't stay where we stay at. She stays in Indiana. I think they do tell her, but she didn't tell us. I just see her wiping tears from her face as I'm doing right now. So she's wiping tears from her face, and she's not responding to anything we're saying. The police officers ask if anybody has a gun in the house. I say we don't know. I called my dad and asked if he has his gun. He's driving my auntie back downtown in Chicago. He says, I don't have my gun. Well, he doesn't have his gun. He's driving, he automatically drives back here. The worst I thought. I mean, not to say this is better than any other outcome, but like, I'm like, did he do something? Like, did he try to kill somebody? Like, never in my mind did I think that he tried to like kill himself. So eventually my dad gets back and he comes in and he says he did it. I'm still sitting there with my grandma. I I heard what my dad said, but my grandma didn't hear. Obviously, grandmas, they can't hear. So, like, my dad, he has to repeat himself because grandmas can't hear, obviously. He said, he did it. That's what my grandma said. She was the only one. Not only one, I would say main one. I don't even know why I breathe. But she would always talk about how she would pray for him every single night. That he would get out of this every single night. But he never did. He never did. But she will always be that one that always had hope for him. Always be the one knocking at his door. Asking when he wanted food. When he would be ignoring us all. Even when he'd be flipping out. She always have hope in him. And that was her worst statement. And he did it. He shot himself. While we were there. thing is, the police officer, they asked, did you hear the gunshots? And my mother said, we probably heard some fireworks. That was him shooting himself in the head. To be fair, like, you know, we did grow up in Gary, Indiana, so, like, if it's not like fireworks, that's probably fireworks. For all that shit, like, she didn't think it was her son shooting himself in the head. And my sister, she didn't think it was her brother shooting himself in the head. And my dad was already gone. But here's the kicker. My brother, he did text my dad. How do you use your gun? How do you use your gun? My dad never told him, but he figured it out. He wasn't stupid. He just wanted a way out. He just wanted a way out. And that's why I'm here today. I'm not going to sit here and blame my dad. I'm not going to sit here and blame my mom. I'm not going to sit here and blame anybody for the way he did. It's just, life fucking sucks. And things happen for a reason. And the way you respond to it is the way you respond to it. But at the same time, I understand all that shit. As a 22-year-old, I understand that shit. But sometimes you do have your down days. And down days, you can have your down months. You can have your down months. And this is what it is. I've been down for months. I left from the internship and I'm back here. Because I've been down and I don't know what to do. I don't know how to handle it. And I'm trying. And the most I could do is try. And I sit here. I think I'm so comfortable. I could just drink all alone and I could forget about it. Then I could go to class or I could go to work in the morning. I'm such an angry person. I'm such a mean, nasty, angry person. And I'm just angry at the world. Life, it could go on. You think that it can't happen to you, but it can. And I'm just sitting there. It's like, how can class go on? How can work go on? How can life go on? Like, I just lost my fucking brother. When I was with me all my fucking life, now he's gone. And everything is school on is normal. So, I take a drink. I just keep on drinking. I keep on drinking. I keep on drinking like it's a sport. I just keep on drinking till I pass out. Till I get to the ER. Till I wake up in front of an apartment building. But it's not alcoholism till you leave college. But it's not. And I was using that as an excuse. It's not alcoholism till you black out multiple times. You lose all your shit. You lose track of how much money you're spending. Till you wake up in front of random places you don't remember. Till you have random people you don't remember meeting. Like, it's not alcoholism. But it is. I should have really got to this point. No, it is at this point. And it's not fair. That's why That's why I'm an alcoholic. And that's why I'm not afraid to admit it. So this is my testimony and why all of you guys should listen somewhat, despite my boogers. But that's just the realness of it.